If you keep doing it every single day, you know, it's going to, one day, you're going to notice it one way or the other, you know. And so I do, I feel great. And that's one of the things that I've changed and I've done. So you think about what you're offering people here. So if it's fear that's stopping you, or it's the way that you're actually connecting or communicating with people, think differently about doing that. And so then you might feel better about how you make a list, how many people you get in front of, how you get in front of those people, because you're going to feel good, because, you know, you feel bulletproof if you go and you sit in front of people and you're presenting the real benefits that they can get without, whether they decide to do the business or not, just being in it, that we know that they're going to get. Is that not true? Just being even here this weekend and being on what they're going to get from it. So if they say no to that, you know that they're not open-minded. You know it's their problem, not yours. They don't want to get ahead. They're not open to getting ahead. They're never going to get ahead, because if they're not open to coming to one thing that could possibly change their life, you know, and you can give them examples of people like I've just given you examples. If they're not open to doing that, you know, and make sure that they understand that. It's not like too many people show the plan, in my opinion, on the basis that, you know, the prospect feels, oh my God, if I come along to this thing, they'll think I'm committed and I want to do it. You know? Do you know what I mean? And I would rather take it away from them and say, I wouldn't want you to do it unless you came along and saw the benefit that this could give other people. Okay? Because that's the second point that I've got here, is that in terms of what's stopping you get the best possible results that you could get. You know, Justin Stern came out to Australia, and he did an amazing weekend seminar, absolutely incredible. And one of the things that he said is that when he was Emerald and wanted to go Diamond, he so desperately wanted to go Diamond that, and he wasn't getting there, you know, and he was doing the work and what have you. And what was the thing that he changed? Well, the thing that he changed was he stopped trying to get them in for him and started trying to get them in for them. Do you understand that? So because we kind of put that up there as the goal, we want to achieve this, and it's almost like we're getting these bodies in for our goal, not for theirs. Does that make sense? And so if you just start thinking, no, I'm getting them in for them, you know, at the very least level, then that could dramatically improve your results and your desire and willingness to go out there and talk to people. If you think you're able to present it in a way that you know that you can really push hard to get them along to something, to listen to a CD, to read a book or whatever, because it's going to help them in everything else that they're doing, and that the rest of it will happen. You don't have to think, oh, but shouldn't I be showing them the big picture and all this kind of stuff? No, because when you get along to the next thing, that's going to show them the big picture. It's going to do the work for you. You know, we're scaring them off. Does that make sense? You know, and you're scaring yourself off from going and showing them because you get too many no's or not blah 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 blah. You know, so just think about, you know, what we've really got and the way you're going out there and talking to people, right? One thing that might be stopping you is you got people in before and they didn't do anything. They promised you all kinds of stuff, and they didn't do anything. Okay, you know. Well, you know, you've just got to get over that, because they were just the wrong people, right? Go get some more. I mean, maybe they're waiting for you to do something. Maybe they're waiting for you to set the example. All right? Maybe, you know, what's stopping you is you're in management mode. Maybe you're kind of got this group of people, and that's coming out of your mouth is you're whinging about what people aren't doing. Nobody's doing any work, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? This is kind of a leadership thing, not a management thing. So everything starts with you. You know, we have to go out and set the example. There's nothing you can't get around. You know, the moment you find yourself complaining about what others are not doing, you know, the problem is here, isn't it? You know, it's about what we're doing. You know, you know, maybe that's what's stopping you getting the best possible, you know, results. Maybe you're specialising in the wrong kind of people. Often, the way we don't look for people who are peer and above. We look for people who we feel that we can intimidate or influence or need it. So if you get those people in, they're the followers, okay? And and I've got great leaders in my business who amass this great team of followers, right? and they just find that they've just got this horrendous job, and they keep on putting more of those kinds of people in there, right? So, get obsessed about looking for the right kind of people who have already succeeded in other areas or stuck with other things, people who have good lists, because if they've got a good list, it probably means they've got good relationships, good people skills, that kind of stuff. And, don't be frightened of them, because, they may be a little harder to get on board, but if you do it the way I said before, get them along, hey, it's interesting, I've got a guy in my group, a Platinum, who is absolutely amazing, and he went along to a seminar where there was a speaker, and, this national speaker was another seminar, and she was amazing. She's now an incredible person, incredible speaker, and you'll see her. She's in the business, right? But you know what he said to her? What would you do? You have to ask yourself, how do I get better results? How do I say to people? You know what? His questions are the answers, He went up to her and he said, what books do you recommend I should be reading? Now, that just started a conversation. Do you understand what I mean? It's just thinking a little bit differently. And then he got her involved in listening to our CDs. Well, you've given me a book, I'll give you one. Right? Now, this person's at a distance, not a focus, not a priority, that kind of stuff. And she got on, it's got the Amway thing and all that. Yeah, don't worry about that. Just get from it, because I know you've got this other career and you're doing all these other massive things, and don't worry about that. Just listen to the CD. And she's a doctor and she drives around a lot, right? And she's a speaker, and you might pick up some stuff for your talks and that kind of stuff. So she's listening to these things. She's listening. She rings up and she says, "Why am I doing this?" So there's my point. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like sometimes we're trying too hard to show the plan, instead of using the tools and the system, because that's what actually works, It's just incredible, And you have to just start a little thing, So don't specialise in the wrong people, because that's what you're looking for is someone. I'm always looking for somebody who is better than me. That's what I'm looking for. That's what that's really when you find those people, it's just fabulous, I've got a lot of young people in my group, okay, I mean, if you've got family, kids, not much time and all that sort of stuff, why don't you try to find people who don't have family, double income, no kids, young, plenty of energy, we'll get out there and do it, I mean, as long as they'll plug into you and be mentored by you, that's fabulous, Does that make sense? So it's who you look for, what you're looking for, that can make the difference. I will win. Maybe what's holding you back is this whole, you come to this weekend and you go, I've made a decision, I'm going to do this. I just have to clear the decks because, I'm broke and I've got all these kinds of problems, and, when I get over that, that's when I'll start. That's all nice and logical, isn't it? We think, yep, right, great. It's not going to happen. You start now, or you've got to fit this in one way or the other. Otherwise, if you don't make a start, there's something that you can be doing every single day, and you can simplify your life over a period of time. When we started, I didn't have a simple life. No, but I decided I would make room for it. And you can't use that excuse. Please don't go to your upline and go, yes, but. Because there is an answer to it. There really is. There's always an answer to it. Doesn't matter whether it's money, doesn't matter whether it's time, there is always an answer. Now, you don't have to do this full time, but you can integrate it, you can gradually make adjustments, and sometimes you just got to say to yourself, if I'm really serious, then I will make some adjustments. It's like, okay, there's some short-term stuff that I could do to actually, get to a point where I can do this. So, we learn so much in this that applies to everything else. One of the things that you probably heard, and I think it's fantastic, have you seen that thing that Nancy Dornan talks about, where you've actually got a beaker, and it represents your day, and how much you can fit into your day depends on the order in which you put the things into the beaker. You've got to put in rocks, sand, water, right? And so if you put the rocks in first, then you put the gravel around, you shake that around a bit more, then you put the sand in, and then you put the water in. That's the ideal order. If you put it in any other order into your day, if you do things around the other way, you won't fit as much into your day. The rocks are the important things. The other things are the urgent things, you know, and that's the difficulty, because basically most of us get caught up in the urgent, the things that have to be done, but they aren't really that important. You know, if you don't do the shopping and all that kind of stuff, you know, that's urgent because you've got to feed the family and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of importance and life-changing stuff, you don't remember the shopping. You know, it's not the thing that's going to radically change your life. But we get caught up in doing all that. So what we've got to say to ourselves, you know, one of the rocks that I suggest to everybody is that they get into the habit of definitely setting aside an amount of time for personal prospecting and personal plans. Because you can so easily, when you first start, one of the things that I've observed is that people do their personals until they get into phase 2, until they get a group. And then they get so absorbed in that, they forget about their personal altogether. Because they're doing their normal thing, plus they're building depth, and they're